to it now. We had one professor weigh in the first hour, Jeffrey McCall from DePaul University. His take on the debate. You've had my take on the debate, Ivy's take on the debate, and now Aaron Kall is the director of debate at the University of Michigan. He joins me now. Aaron, nice to have you back.
Morning, great to be back.
Glad to see you here today. So, I think the big loser last night, and I had some different takes on it last night, but I think the big loser here today is ABC News. You tell me what you think about that. Donald Trump got fact-checked or stopped by the moderators at least a half a dozen times. They asked him a number of follow-up questions, and Kamala Harris didn't get stopped once. Didn't fact-check her on things that... I'll use the easiest one that comes out. Charlottesville, Virginia, has been debunked by Snopes, for example. Everybody knows that that's just not true. Even Snopes, which is not exactly a conservative outlet, says, yeah, that's not true. It's not what he said. Yet, that and a list of 25 other things I have here, given a pass. Now, I think that Kamala Harris came out on top in the debate. But when it's 3-on-1, it makes it a bit of uphill climb for Donald Trump. What are your takeaways?
Yeah, I thought given the stakes that Harris did well, certainly a lot better than President Biden from June. I was surprised by the fact-checking. I kind of thought that the moderators in these presidential debates had given up on that. You know, we went all the way back to Candy Crowley in 2012, and she was lambasted for that. And Dana Bash, Jake Tapper didn't want to fact-check, really.
In fact, if I might jump in there, Aaron, I think that CNN did a far more honest, fair debate than did ABC News. They didn't involve themselves. They didn't, get in the mix there. And in fact, a couple of times they said, talking to Joe Biden, Mr. Biden, or Mr. President, you still have a minute left. That's about as involved as they got in the CNN debate. Last night, there were 3-on-1, is the way it looked to a lot of people. I'm one of those people. Go on.
I think ideally the role of the moderator is, you want to make sure that there's equal time on both sides. You have complete discretion over the questions and follow-ups. And really, you should leave the fact-checking to the candidates themselves. That was something that President Biden couldn't do in June. He just didn't have the skills, the stamina to do it. Certainly, Kamala Harris is in a better position. But yes, I mean, she was definitely assisted, aided, if not, on purpose. It helped in some key times, and also some of the issues, the abortion, where she has an advantage and familiarity, came at a good time. I thought she kind of got the winds in her sails after that, and so a lot of things went right. But in political debates, elections, sometimes you do need a little some things to go your way, and they certainly did last night.
Well, right, but I think that a lot of people are looking at it going, the thumb was on the scale from ABC News. I mean, they spent twice as much time on abortion as they did on the economy. The economy is far and away, I don't care which poll you look at, the economy far and away the number one issue of 2024. The border is the number 2 issue of 2024. These are the two, back and forth. These are the top issues. More time was spent on January the 6th. More time was spent on abortion. And abortion's an issue that usually comes in third or fourth. I'm not going to discount that as not being an important issue. It is. But time and again, when Donald Trump says, I just want the war with Ukraine and Russia to end, they just kept hammering. Well, do you think it's good for Ukraine to win? Do you think it's good for Ukraine to win? It was almost badgering to a point from David Muir at that point. What do you say?
Yeah, that's why debates are so difficult. You never know what you're going to get, and they have total control and autonomy. Both campaigns in advance that have to agree to both. Both had moderated previous debates, primary debates that both candidates had been in, and last night, yes, they were tough. Maybe some of that came in response to the June debate, or just some editorial decisions, but they certainly played a role in the debate, but also the candidates as well. I think Harris should get some credit for her performance under the circumstances, and Trump kind of fell into her trap in some ways. And
he did.
I didn't think had one of his better performances overall.
I would agree with that. She poked the bear, he took the bait. That was not good. He should have stayed on topic and stayed on the idea of the issues that matter to the American people. Now, the real takeaway, Aaron, is this. Debates, I mean, you can go back to Al Gore won debates against George W. Bush, most people would say. John Kerry throttled George W. Bush in 2004. Mitt Romney clearly won the first debate in 2012, and Hillary Clinton, according to pretty much all people, won the debates against Donald Trump 3 for 3 in 2016. None of those people were elected. So the real question is, does it matter really? Did this, I mean, I'm looking at debate results. Most people giving Donald, I'm pretty much across the board. Kamala Harris the winner, anywhere from 10 points to more. But did it affect your vote? The answer appears to be no. Did it change anything? That's the real question.
Yeah. No, I mean, at the margins, there's a very few amount of people that would change their vote by a 90-minute debate. But if nothing else, it maybe changes the news cycle. Kamala Harris had some bad polling, national and battleground results heading into this, and things looked a little more grim. And so this could change that narrative, reframe things a little bit, help out with fundraising, and at least provide some respite for the campaign. But no, the fundamentals of the campaign remain the same, and Republicans and Trump still have advantage in the electoral map.
Trump does still have the advantage in the electoral map, it appears. And I look, I think debates are exciting for you, for me, for political junkies. We watch it, we see what happens, and say, oh, good night, bad night. The only time that I've ever seen a debate make a dramatic impact on an election was June 27th. I mean, and that's because that basically knocked Joe Biden out of the race altogether. I don't see that happening here. Maybe I'm mistaken, but I don't see that happening here. I think the people that because I'm watching all this social media stuff, people like Donald Trump. And people who said, he didn't have a great night, I'm still voting for him. Again, maybe it has something right on the margins, but not enough to make a difference, I don't think. And I think for people that want substance, they didn't get a lot of substance from Kamala Harris. They got, I believe in an opportunity economy, but we don't know what that means. I have a plan for this and that. Well, what's the plan? There were no follow-ups from ABC. That's my disappointment. Trump got a lot of follow-ups, none from ABC and Kamala. I still don't know what her plans are. I'd like to. Aaron, I'll give you the last word.
Yeah, I think she definitely evaded some scrutiny, although Trump also could have been better at really driving home that point rather than focusing on some other things. But
true.
But I agree with your large narrative that there's no knockout punches in these days in 2024. The candidates are set. We're past the convention. So it's entertainment. We'll see exactly how many people tuned in last night.
Yeah. What do you think? Big audience or not?
Yeah, I'm thinking 60, 70 million. It's tough now that only ABC controls it, but certainly much larger than the 50 million that tuned in the summer in June.
Right. All right. Aaron Kall, greatly appreciate you being here, sir. Thank you.
Anytime.
There you have it, Aaron Kall from the University of Michigan. Entertainment. Maybe that's what it is. Just entertainment. No real takeaways. People who are hardcore Trump supporters will say he won. Hardcore Harris supporters would say he won. I'm going to be honest with you. I think Harris won the debate because she was better than anticipated. But they had set the bar so low for her, she couldn't possibly be worse. And again, she was never challenged by the moderators who inserted themselves into the debate. Not what they're supposed to do. They were awful. How did Megyn Kelly put it here? I'll just quickly quote Megyn Kelly here. She said, "These moderators are a disgraceful failure, and this is one of the most biased, unfair debates I've ever seen. Shame on you, ABC. The pile-on against Trump is so bad and so obvious, this will backfire." Megyn Kelly might be right on the money there. I'll be back.